so much for joining us on number 60th edition of Lunch Out Loud Ottawa. My name is Nick Pachuski.
I'm Andrew Miller.
And of course, we're the podcast that talks to the people, places, music, and events that make Ottawa the incredible city that it is. And before we get to our three very special guests this week, why don't we check this out?
Hey, how's it going? This is Kyle from The Superlative, and you're listening to Lunch Out Loud. Check us out live this Friday, February 14th at Zaphod's, where we'll be opening up for Canadian 90s rock veterans Rusty. Come on out and be our Valentine.
Thank you so much, Superlative, who are going to be playing Friday night at opening for Rusty at Zaphod, so that's going to be a lot of fun. That song was Intermuse from the Chester EP. They're presently in the studio right now, this moment, recording their new album, which is hoping to be ready for a May 3rd launch party, which will be collaborating with the Rock and Rescue fundraiser for the Ottawa Humane Society. You can check them out at thesuperlativeband.bandcamp.com on Facebook. Check them out. It's going to be a great show. So if you don't have plans for Valentine's Day yet, Rusty's coming back. You remember Rusty from the 90s?
I remember Rusty.
They were a good band.
It's all not to date myself or anything.
So happy Valentine's Day, Andrew and everyone.
Yay!
Tomorrow. Congrats on finding out.
My little baby girl to be.
She's going to be having a baby girl.
Yeah.
Due July 4th for... the American Day.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyways, it's such a pleasure to be at the University of Ottawa Telfair building to be with Fad Al-Hattab, Khaloud Al-Qada, and Ajmal Sitar.
Got it. Well,
Nailed it. I got it. I'm not the best with names, but whatever. It's all good. And they are three very motivating, inspiring, young entrepreneurial volunteers, I like to call it. And just reading about on their LinkedIn profiles, I think people that are into their 60s would look back and go, "That's a great life I lived just by doing as much as you've already done." So it's quite motivating to read that. So we have Fad, who is a social entrepreneur, community builder, top 20 under 20 in Canada. We'll talk about that. University student, avid volunteer with Youth Ottawa and many others. Khaloud's a senior mentor at Youth Futures, an aspiring nurse, and I always love nurses. They are
Me too.
The greatest people. Your mom.
My mom's a nurse.
Your mom's a nurse. You're an HR manager for the Mental Health Project, volunteer with Child and Youth Friendly Ottawa, and much, much more. So we're going to get into that just a moment. And Ajmal Sitar is a fourth-year finance student at the Telfair School of Management, my alma mater. Look at how I've turned out. No, I'm kidding. Co-founder of Sigbins, so we'll talk about that. Co-president of Enactus at University of Ottawa chapter. You've done a lot of work with Casco, and you're heavily involved with sponsorship for charitable organizations. So bringing in the big companies and small companies to make these awesome events run.
Sweet.
So we'll...
Real quick before we get started, it's 1-0 Canada.
It is 1-0
Shea
Canada.
Weber just scored.
By the time this goes to air, it's going to be 4-0.
Yeah, the game will be over by the time.
All right, so Fad, we'll just get to know you first. So some quick questions. How did you arrive to Ottawa, and what keeps you here?
Well, my family, we immigrated here to Canada in 1998. First lived in Montreal for a year with my uncle to get settled, and then we moved to Ottawa. So it's kind of a whole family thing. I have two brothers and 3 sisters, and my parents are here, and so we came to Ottawa and we settled, and so far 15 years, and I think we're staying. So
15 years. You enjoy it here?
I love it.
Even the winters?
Every winter we debate about going back to Kuwait because it's like 10 degrees there every winter when we have here. It's minus 30, so we're always that 40-degree change. We're like, why not?
And your family enjoys Ottawa as well?
Yes, very much.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. What are some of your favorite restaurants and hangout spots when you're not volunteering and putting all your time into the community?
Favorite hangout spots. I'm a big movie person. I kind of found that Silver City takes a lot of my money. I watch a lot of movies there, really enjoy it, so I kind of go out there. Favorite restaurants? I'm a big fan of the Works, so wherever there's one nearby, I kind of go by. That's a nice. Their onion rings are really.
That big tower.
The big tower is what gets me.
Any specific burger that you always get when you're there?
The funny enough, because I get an onion ring side, but I also get the 3-ring onion binder
There you go.
on the burger, so we're good.
So a lot of the events you run, there's a lot of onion rings you get.
Great. What about other activities in Ottawa besides, what are some extracurricular things that you like to do?
I play a lot of sports. I'm on a soccer team and a volleyball team, and unfortunately this year I didn't get a basketball team going on, recreation, but I always like to stay involved in sports, and it's fun. I did it all throughout high school, and it's easy to fall away from it after high school when it's not right. You're not forced into recreation almost, right? So to make sure to play my sports and enjoy it. So
do you do that with the university?
So intramurals and different rec leagues that happen.
You excited for the new soccer team then coming to the town?
Yeah, the soccer team and the Skyhawks, the basketball team.
Yeah, have you been to any of those games?
I haven't been, unfortunately, but a buddy of mine actually plays for them.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So that's
there's your courtside seats there.
Exactly, right? So,
so what led you into volunteering and choosing this kind of vocation?
I think that's a great question. I think a lot of it started. So when we first came to Canada, I always say we were very lucky to be a 10-minute walk to the community center, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Ottawa. At that community center is really where we became who we are. There was a lot of difficulties in the community that I grew up in, but luckily our parents dropping us off at that community center, we were very confident in that. We got to play sports. I got to learn swimming there. The drama. I remember my first play that we did was at the Boys and Girls Club, and the first sports teams I ever entered there. And it really kind of built me as an individual as part of a bigger community. As I got to 13, 14-year-old, we started, the staff started telling us we're the leaders now for the younger kids, and kind of understanding what that meant was, I think, a big chapter in my life, and a big chapter in us kind of going from being kids who were just at the Boys and Girls Club to now coaching the younger, 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds in the soccer league, right? Mm-hmm. So kind of being a part of that. And so I think that's what kind of developed me into really volunteering and being a part of the bigger community.
Wow. And how many hours a day were you going to these? Were you at the Boys and Girls Club?
So you finished school at around 3, and from 3:30 to 8, you were at the Boys and Girls Club. It was a second home because it was fun, and we got to do our homework there. We got to volunteer and play sports. So it made volunteering fun. Yeah. When I think a lot of high school students see volunteering as a chore, I saw it as I'm going to volunteer with my friends to do something fun. So it was exciting. It was no longer a chore, but something I wanted to do. And I think it's what kind of built on me continuing to do more volunteering.
And you're always happy doing it. And it's such a different lifestyle than getting home at 3:30 in the afternoon and going right to the TV or by yourself. Mm-hmm. And then you were able to interact until about 8 p.m. And it's free for people to go to the Boys and Girls Club.
It's not a cost.
It's incredible because I never had that growing up. I did not know it existed.
Yeah. So you were part of the 20 under 20. You want to tell us a little bit about that? How does that come about? Were you nominated by friends?
I was nominated by Max Keeping, actually.
Oh, right on.
Which was fantastic.
One of your mentors.
One of my many mentors, yeah. So I got very involved with Child and Youth Friendly Ottawa, which is now known as Youth Ottawa. And Max was one of the co-founders of that. And so having sat on the board and been a big part in the program development, of a lot of our different youth engagement, I really was able to develop a lot of skills. Now, the award was specifically is given to youth who have excelled, beyond what they usually do, and specifically in a project. So the project that was put forward for me was the camp that we started in the Lower Town community. So when I was in grade 12, a buddy of mine, Mohammed Zaman, kind of came up to me, and we went to York Street Public School, which is found in Lower Town, and he said, we haven't really gone back to that community. We haven't really done something for it. Mm-hmm. And we were both youth workers at the time. Me at the Boys and Girls Club, he was at one of the Ottawa community centers, and we said, what better way than to do a March break camp for those kids, because they currently don't have one. Something we know about, something we could possibly do. And it was an amazing idea, brainstorm, and I think it kind of hit us in the face when we were like, okay, we're going to actually do this. But we got amazing community support from Lower Town Community Resource Center. We said we want to do this project. At first, they were like, it's these 2 high school students who want to run a camp, right? But they gave us a try, and I always say that was a big part, because they really gave us a lot of trust. And we fundraised money, and we ran the first camp with 20 kids, all volunteers, and it was about a $3,000 budget. All the money went to programming. 4 years later, this March it's coming up with a $14,000 budget.
Wow!
We're having over 60 kids, and we've have helped over 200 families in the time and more. So
That's
we're
amazing.
Excited to be a part of that community. It's a difficult community, but I think the small differences that we're able to make is
for sure.
Are you seeing that from the ones that started 4 years ago? Are they starting to follow your footsteps and start leading the smaller kids as well?
Definitely. There's one kid's story that I always tell. He was my favorite little troublemaker the first year. That's the only way I know how to put it. And right off the bat, he was making trouble and fighting with the other kids, and I was the one, was one of the camp directors to sit down with him and deal with it and kind of really try and structure that. And I remember last year, he was at the camp, and instead of making trouble, I saw him at the back of the bus leading one of the camp songs. And it was, to me, a whole transformation from, a kid who was a leader in himself because of his strong personality, but was using it fighting and kind of negatively, but now he is leading in the camp among his peers. And I think, we might not see the complete effects to that change till 5-10 years down the line. But I know for a fact that our programming and the programming that happens in Lower Town is really made a big difference in his life.
Yeah, that's just
great.
one example, because if you weren't there for him, if these camps weren't there for him, who knows what he'd be doing now.
Perfect.
So thank you so much, Todd. We could talk
Well,
for
yeah,
hours.
we'll get back to
we
it.
could talk for hours because you do a lot of speeches around the city as well in the communities. So, Khulud, what about you? How did you arrive in Ottawa, and what keeps you here?
Well, I'm from Yemen, and my family came here when I was 4 years old. And just what keeps me here, I love Ottawa. Always loved Ottawa. I feel like it's a great place, great people, great places to get involved. There's just so much to do here.
So much to do, always active, and
Always active,
never
exactly.
bored, which is great. Which
What
a lot of people say.
what are some of the things that you really like to do in town?
My favorite thing is probably studying. I had to do that in nursing school, but I
Yeah.
love volunteering. I loved doing it in high school, and then when I got older, I just found more ways to do it, and it's just what I love.
How did you start in volunteering?
Well,
What drove you towards?
It'd probably be my sister. My sister was really involved when she was in high school, and so that kind of, just spending a lot of time with her, she kind of got me interested into it. So, yeah.
What made you do that instead of going, but I could make more money doing other part-time jobs, but instead of doing the volunteering?
I felt like it was a great way to learn. Like, it's a great way to learn and to have people to support you and people to teach you things that you wouldn't be able to learn from a job or something else.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like it was a great way to get involved and be active and not kind of staying at home watching TV. Just to be involved in the community and with the people.
What were some of your first volunteer positions?
My first volunteer thing was probably in high school. I was part of Key Club. And so that was Key Club. So it was a lot of collecting money to give to third world organizations. So it was a lot of bake sales, a lot of spaghetti dinners, a lot of really simple things. But at that time, it was amazing to me, and it was so great to see that I was this grade 9 high school student who was changing lives and changing the world, and doing things that seemed so simple but really had a big impact.
Did you do a lot of the baking yourself?
I did, yes. Me and my mom, a lot of late nights.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what are you doing now? So Youth Futures, what What is Youth Futures?
So Youth Futures is a program targeted at first generation high school youth. It's composed of 3 components: the advanced leadership training, which takes place from February to the end of May, and it's just a place where kids can they learn communication skills, resume writing, how to do an interview. They get their CPR, first aid certification, all those kind of great things, just kind of build on their leadership and how to be leaders in their community. And then the second component of the program is a full-time paid summer employment in the summer. But all the jobs are within the city, they're within the private or public sector, and they're just really amazing jobs, working with community centers, working with community organizations, working in museums or law firms or things like that to really show the kids, that your first job can be a really great, meaningful one. And then the third component is the post-secondary experiences, where we take the kids and they visit all the post-secondary institutions in Ottawa. So all the colleges, all the universities, and we just show them what's out there and how important post-secondary education is, how it can positively impact your life, and just what a great chance it is.
Good. So what are the age groups then? You said it.
16 to 21, but a lot of them are grade 11 high school kids, because that's really, we found out that's the best time to kind of hit them, because they're kind of starting to think about university and college, starting to take courses to prep for that.
And they're the first
generation youth, a lot of them are, so that means that their parents have not gone to a post-secondary institution in Canada. Yeah, so a lot of them are like the first ones in the family to go.
Wow. And so has there been any stories that have really impacted you through doing this one?
Yeah, there have been a few kids who started in the program, didn't really kind of see post-secondary as an opportunity for them, and now they're one of the mentors who are working for the program. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So how long do the students stay with you then?
They stay in from February until the end of August.
Okay. But it's just the 1 year though?
It's just the 1 year, yeah. It's a 7-month program.
So you motivate them in that 1 year, and then...
Exactly.
So what led you towards nursing?
Well, I had my first summer job. It was a co-op. I got 2 credits for co-op, and I also got paid, so that was awesome. And it was at a nursing home at Bell's Corner, and it was just such a great experience. I loved nursing. I loved watching the nurses there. They were so busy and interacting with the patients, and just dealing with them one-on-one. It was very one-on-one, and that's what I love the most about nursing, is just how application it is, and not a lot of theory and sitting down. It's very, very practical, very hands-on.
It's incredible. What aspect of nursing do you think you're going to go into? Which range?
Probably pediatrics.
Pediatrics?
Yeah, I really like kids, so I think that's...
That's gut-wrenching. That's so hard. I could never do that.
Yeah, I've heard it's really tough, just because a lot of the kids are really sick, but hopefully I can be the first one.
So you're hoping to get into CHEO then, or?
Hoping, to get to CHEO.
Sticking around in Ottawa?
Yeah, exactly.
Right on.
And awesome. So, and the mental health project, you work a lot with that as well.
Yeah, well, the mental health project isn't kind of happening anymore, but yeah, I used to work for the mental health project. I was part of HR, so I was kind of the hiring process and kind of spreading the word about what the mental health project was about.
Right on. So we'll be right back with Ajmal. After a quick break, we're going to listen to one more song. Yeah, we're going quick here. We'll go hit one more song from the Superlative. This is Hot Summer Dub and from their Chester EP, and be right back with Ajmal. That was Hot Summer Dub from the Superlative Chester EP. Check them out.
2-0 Canada.
2-0 Canada. There
Jamie Benza scored.
Okay. So Ajmal, you're a 4th-year finance student, Telfair School of Management. How's that going for you? Did you like it here?
It's going well. I got about a year left. Graduating in December. See what's going to happen from there. Yeah.
How long have you been in Ottawa for?
Born and raised.
All right.
Born and raised. I feel like I owe this city a lot, which is why I plan on doing big things in Ottawa to give back.
Perfect.
That's
good.
the plan.
What's kept you here? Most people, a lot of people, not most people, a lot of people that are born and raised right in Ottawa, I find they end up, trying to go to school somewhere else. What made you decide to stay around?
Just the city's given me a lot, and just kind of like that bond with the city. I'm kind of competitive by nature, so when I hear negative things about Ottawa, I feel like it's my duty to do something to put Ottawa on the map, to make Ottawa a better place, make it more appealing to others. So I feel like I have the tools and resources to do big things. So rather than go somewhere else and do it, I'd rather do it here.
Right on. Never lose
Good
that. Never lose that
You
mentality.
keep doing big things, we'll keep spreading the word about it.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right, we'll go through some of the things you're working on. You're co-founder of Sigbins. So let us know a bit about that and how that's going to change. That's a small change, one of your small changes.
Sure, yeah. So I'm a co-founder of Sigbins. Sigbins is a social purpose business that aims to collect and recycle cigarette butts, and all the while employing individuals with a mental illness. So cigarette butts are the #1 most littered item in the entire world.
Guaranteed.
And causes a lot of issues to the environment, to animals, as well as to business. So decreases the aesthetics of businesses, makes our city look bad, which then leads to decreased foot traffic, which is then lower tourism. So we felt like we can create a solution that is a viable business, but at the same time it has a social cost to it, which would be that environmental aspect, and then also employing a marginalized group in the city.
So what are they going to convert the used cigarettes to?
So there are actually a few different things you could do. The one we're looking at right now is actually taking the cellulose acetate that's in cigarette butts and converting it and sterilizing it and converting it into plastic pellets. Those plastic pellets can then be used in the manufacturing process to create lawn furniture or milk crates to be used regularly.
Have you done any of those conversions yet?
No, we've actually just been creating relationships with our partners.
Okay.
So we've been talking to the business improvement areas in Westboro and Vanier, and we plan on getting our pilot out in April. So what we've done is we've created a Sigbin, which is a new receptacle which has a wider opening, making it easier for smokers to dispose of their cigarette butts and of course recycle them. So we hope to get them out by April, so people of Ottawa will be seeing them around.
I like it. And you won a grant from Just Change. Can you tell us a bit about Just Change and the process there?
Yeah, absolutely. So Just Change is an awesome organization. It's a group of around 10 people, and basically what they do is they put $100 or $50 every month, and then every 2 months they give away a $1,000 grant to a local project in the community to help them get started. So what that did for us is it really gave us a little bit of confidence and funding to build our prototype. Mm-hmm. So it helped out a lot. They're great.
Yeah, and there's a few groups like that. I think that's just an awesome idea that where people, when they want to see direct change, pull together money, create a board of directors, and go. It's such an easy thing to do.
So how big are these Sigbins going to be? And are they going to be located all over, or?
Yeah, well, that's the plan. So basically what we're doing is we want to geographically segment. Mm-hmm. So go based on different locations. So we're starting with different wards in the city. So like Vanier, Westboro. And then we'll look at different groups that might need them. So hospitals, maybe hotels, work with property management companies. So we've been working on it for about 5 months. It's done very well. So the community's been very receptive. We won a few competitions to gain funding. So we're trying to get it going and basically prove people wrong that you can create a social business that is doing good for the community, but at the same time it's financially viable.
Yeah.
Have you been looking into any marketing aspects of it? You know how with bus stops and the recycling bins that we have now, obviously there's advertising opportunities for businesses out there. Are you going to be looking towards that?
There's potential. Right now we'd rather just get our brand out there for people to understand what Sigbins is. An interesting part of our marketing will actually be the behavioral change of smokers. So we want to actually educate smokers on the harmful effects of cigarette butt litter, so then they're more likely to dispose of their cigarette butts. One of the ways we're trying to do this is through a buyback program, where smokers can actually collect their cigarette butts and then get paid to recycle them, and then we're getting outside funding for that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a great idea.
And that might help people quit once they have a pile of about 100 cigarette butts. That's usually that usually starts smelling pretty awful. Maybe they'll just stop altogether.
Absolutely.
Or maybe they'll like the money that they get back and keep smoking more.
Yeah, one or the other.
No, that's not going to happen. And so you're also the co-president of Enactus at the University of Ottawa. Can you tell us a bit about Enactus and what that does for the community?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
So,
that one as well.
just to give a little bit of background, so Fahad and Khalud, they clearly stated that they're social workers. They love to give back to the community. It's just what they do within their heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a business person. Like, this was never really my plan. Like, in high school, I was doing entrepreneurial things to make money. Like, I wanted to, like, do certain things to just make some cash, buy some stuff for myself.
Which high school did you go to?
I went to Immaculata and St. Joe's High School. So I never really understood this whole thing. I understood donating. I was like, okay, it's good to donate money for a good cause that you care about.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I realized the impact of business on this world, on this not-for-profit world, and you could be using the skills you have in a business setting to make far greater impact, because then you're not asking for donations anymore. You're creating a real business that makes its own money, and then the cause goes towards helping people. And that's what I think, like, the not-for-profit is definitely moving to, and more not-for-profits should move towards. So Enactus is an organization that basically what happened is one of my friends, Faisal Kabir, he reached out to me and said, hey, listen, man, do you want to start a program for at-risk youth? And I thought back to, like, my upbringing and the type of friends I had and the situations that they were dealing with at the current time. And I said, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. So we created a program under Enactus called Project Fly, Future Leaders in Youth. And the goal was to really provide at-risk youth with the confidence to look to opportunities such as post-secondary education, employment, and entrepreneurship. And in the first year, we worked with around 30 kids from Christie Lake Kids, a local charity.
Great charity. Yeah.
So it went very well in the first year. So, like, we saw over 90% increases in the number of youth who wanted to go to school or get a job or become entrepreneurs. And now 2 years later, we're actually working with 3 charities now, and the charities are actually the 2 that Khalud and Fahad are working with, which are Youth Futures and Boys and Girls Club. So there's about 100 youth who come to the University of Ottawa monthly, and there's a 4-hour session built with activities, games, guest speakers coming in to just inspire and show them that regardless of the situation that they're in, they can still do big things and create a future for themselves.
And are you helping out with that? Is that on weekends?
Yeah, so, like, that's something I kind of started within the Enactus umbrella. And so, okay, I'll tell you about Enactus. So Enactus is actually, it's a part of a worldwide network. It's a worldwide network, and what we do is we create community outreach projects that increase the quality of life and standard of living of those in need. They're supposed to be innovative, and they're supposed to scale. So this is a program under Enactus. So we actually have other programs where, so for example, we're working with a local charity called Eco-Equitable, where we've created a fashion boutique where the marginalized immigrant women that come to Eco-Equitable are creating fashion products from repurposed fabric, and we're helping them sell it in a boutique online and in-store.
Oh, cool.
And then, the money that we raise goes towards creating jobs for the women and sustaining the charity.
That's a good idea.
I love it.
So, yeah.
I love the passion and the drive. Did you see Twan's speech at the U of Ottawa, the TED Talk?
Yeah.
And it's just so motivational to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Were you there as well?
No, I wasn't there, but I know Twan through my experiences with Casco.
And you're doing some great work. So what's next then? What is your next goals after you graduate?
Honestly, it's just to create an impact, create a proper impact, create some positive change, either through traditional business. So even like if you have this sort of mindset in a traditional business setting, you can still make very good decisions and then actually think about that other side of things rather than just going profit maximization. So we'll see where I go. Build sick bins, entrepreneurial stuff.
Just keep hustling, keep going.
Yeah, that's the
not
plan.
quitting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not wasting time.
Big things.
What about you? What's next for you?
I'm probably just going to keep volunteering with the things that I've been volunteering with. A big part of my life is going to Rogers House. It's a child hospice beside a general hospital. And I love going there. I love being with the kids. So I'm thinking that when I'm done school, I'm going to go there and maybe work there one day.
Is that going to be a nurse at the
Be a
Rogers
nurse
House?
at the Rogers House, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I love it. You'll be able to do
there.
it. Yeah. Wow. And Fahd?
I thought about taking up my comedy career. It might not work out for
Yeah,
me.
she
though.
bought from Miller.
Yeah.
That's worth nothing.
30 under 30.
There you go. There you go for comedy. No, there's quite a few projects that are currently under my belt, and I'm looking at growing them, looking at moving them forward. I've looked at the potential of being a city councillor, kind of a leader for youth. Something that I has been really pushed forward me by some mentors such as Matthew Fleury, who's currently one of the youth city councillors, right? And
That's right.
And is a great leader, and working with him very closely. So kind of looking at public service, and nonprofit. And I've actually been working a lot with Ajmal lately, and loving the business stuff that he does also. So kind of looking to have a social impact, nonprofits have a political impact with kind of the structure and how things are and some business adventures also.
So possible run for city councillor for this year?
No,
No.
Not this year.
not this year. That's a bit soon.
Well, there's another University of Ottawa candidate just announced his candidacy a couple days ago in the Kitchissippi ward. So
Yeah, there's also a Carleton
So-
student too. A Carleton
yeah.
student in the Osgood riding too.
yeah, so don't say that. And there's MPs from McGill. So
That's true. It's very,
So
it's extremely exciting to see that young people are actually no longer just kind of participating in voting, but actually coming out and running.
That's
You
good.
know, I don't know. I'd like to see statistics on how much of a difference is it, from 10 years ago on young people running in ridings, and what that
well,
looks like.
we have the advantage of social media and all those kind of aspects. So that you're going to see, it's going to be easier for you to make impacts to drive people to vote.
Yeah.
So that's always been one of the things. But just keep doing what you're doing, and
You guys are doing
and
great things.
solidify that. So when you do run in, say 4 years,
Yeah, keep building that resume up there.
and just be observational, just taking as much information as possible. Any events that you want to talk about before we talk about events this weekend?
Yeah,
Where you're
absolutely.
going?
So the first would be the Eco-Equitable Fashion Boutique that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Their launch party is on February 20th. And
Okay, next Thursday.
yeah, so their launch party is on February 20th. It's an opportunity to come support the charity before they take on this huge venture of starting a fashion boutique. And our Enactus team will be there supporting the cause and making sure it runs well. And then
What
second
time's that at and where?
It's actually happening at their new location.
Well, we can get it from you. We'll make sure we make note of it next week's episode.
Yeah.
Make
It's
sure
at
we
the
don't miss
Hartwood
it.
House on MacArthur, 342 MacArthur.
Perfect.
Okay.
And other things coming up?
Yep, and I'd also like to mention a conference that the Enactus team is organizing. It's in its 4th year. It's called the Legacy Conference. It's Ottawa's premier entrepreneurship conference, and the theme this year is the triple bottom line, to show traditional entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and environmental entrepreneurs. So we're going to have around 20 speakers there for the
Wow.
day. Right now, one of our main keynotes is George Roeder, founder of Engineers Without Borders.
Oh, wow.
And there's going to be a lot of really big name people as well as community members coming out. And the goal is to inspire everyone there to want to start a venture and become entrepreneurs. So that's happening on March 22nd, and you can find out more information and buy tickets at www.legacyottawa.ca.
Okay.
Perfect.
Wow.
Thanks. Any big events for you coming up?
Well, I'm launching with Spirit Awards, Spirit the Capital Youth Awards, happening
Capital
on June
Youth.
11th. Nominations are now open. They just opened on Tuesday and they close February 31st.
And what is the criteria? No?
March 30th.
March
sorry,
March 31st.
What is the criteria to be nominated for the Youth Awards?
You just have to be from Ottawa and you have to be making a change in your community. And there's a bunch of different categories for it. Service and caring, youth and technology, a bunch of things like that.
Wonderful. And
Oh,
how
that's
many years has this awards been going on?
This is the 17th annual
17th
awards
annual.
ceremony. And this year, we're playing it up. We're going to be at Shopify.
Oh, wow.
Shopify is the location. We've got some big names coming in.
Can't get more inspiring than that.
You really can't. It's an amazing facility, and we usually get hundreds of nominations a year, and we're looking to push that even more this year. So come out and nominate someone that you know is amazing. Anyone that's 21 and under that has done something in the community, we'd love to hear about them.
Well,
That's great.
Incredible. That was a very quick episode. Thank you so much for having us here.
Thanks for having us.
That was a lot of fun, and I hope you can drive more people to listen to this and get more motivated and stop just watching TV at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And know you can do more good to just feed off the energy that all three of you had is just absolutely incredible.
For sure.
All
So,
right.
what's popping this weekend? Which
Well,
league's wrapping up?
special announcement. Special announcement.
We got it.
For Lunch Out Loud Ottawa, starting next week, we have Don and Jen Chow from Foodie Prince, an incredible food blog in the city. We'll be doing a short segment after the break, focusing on the food industry in Ottawa. Why not get the best, right?
Yeah.
So from featuring upcoming events to reviews of new restaurants, they'll be covering it all, 2 to 5
Awesome.
minutes. That's going to be a
Looking
lot of
forward
fun.
to
I'm looking forward to that too. Events this weekend, Valentine's Day weekend. You probably have some nice
Yeah.
plans. We're not going to tell. Nor will I. Bruised Tongue is having their 5-year anniversary all weekend with concerts at Gaba Hay, Mugshots, and Cafe Alt. There's a new tattoo studio and art gallery in Hintonburg opening up called Railbender. They're having a grand opening group art show. So great food, art, beer at 3 Hamilton Avenue North from
Like that.
11 p.m. on Saturday. I'm going to try to hit that up.
Sweet.
Kale Matson is having a CD release party for Someday the Moon Will Be Gold. We had him on a few weeks ago. He just got back from a tour in Europe.
Yeah.
And the crowds are just awesome for him. So we have to give him a big welcome there. That's at
Yeah.
Zapods.
We got Winter Brewed, the second edition. Not going to be, I like their website. It says a little less burr and a little more beer. Last year, if you guys remember, it was pretty cold out on Spark Street. So it's going to be located at in the heart of the Glebe now, 99 Fifth Ave, Arrow and Loon Pub, and Fifth Ave Court. That's from Valentine's Day. They'll have some beer and chocolate pairings. So if you don't have anything to do, there's something to go check out. And that's going on all weekend as well.
All right. There's Brazilian Fever, a Brazilian Carnival at the
I
Museum
saw
of
that.
Civil.
As night falls down upon your eyes, there seems to be the safest place. Please, no goodbyes, they were misplaced. So let's turn back time and live again. Yeah, yeah. When you fall, don't look back and walk away. This might be your only chance to see the light of day. Yeah. When falls down upon your eyes. This seems to be the safest place. Please, no goodbyes, they were misplaced. Let's turn back time and